The common React machine coding interview is to create a pagination component. Now, it's not just about to making a pagination component. The interviewer will also judge your code quality, thought process, and how you break down the component. Today, I will show you how to make a pagination component and how to break it down and what question you should ask interviewer before you start coding. The most important thing when you get a question in an interview is not to start coding right away. I'm telling to you, don't just jump into coding. It makes a bad first impression. The interviewer will expect you to ask some question about the context of what you are going to build. For example, you can ask, what will be the data source? Should I use mock data, or is there any API you will provide? Are there any specific design requirement, or should I use my own judgment? Is there a limit to how many items should be visible at once? Should user be able to jump to a specific page by clicking button or entering a number? So these are the valid questions. When you ask this question, the interviewer will see that you understand what you are going to build. Asking question shows that you are thoughtful and thorough. Many people watch my videos but don't subscribe to my channel. If you find this content really helpful, please subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you. So this is the pagination component that we are going to build today. Here you can see we are fetching the first 5 items from the API, and in the bottom this is the most important the pagination component. First of all, you will see the first 4 pages, and here you can see when you are in a first page, the previous button is disabled. When you click on the next button, it will move it to the next page. And the most important part is when you are in a current page, right? The important part is we need to show the previous 3 pages from the current page and the next 3 pages from the current page. For example, current page is number 4, right? So previous 3 page should be 1, 2, 3. The next 3 page should be 5, 6, 7, and that has to be visible. Now if we click on the 5 number page, then you can see how actually our previous and next 3 pages got changes, right? Now 2, 3, 4, current page is 5, and 6, 7, 8. Same goes for if you click on the next button, it will show the next 3 pages. Now when you go to the last pages, you should not be able to click on the next button. It will be the disable. So these are the most common pagination functionality that interviewer will be expect to build you during the machine coding round. Now here I have simply created a React app with a byte. So after that I have installed the Tailwind CSS for quick design, and I have configured the Tailwind config.js. I have added the utility classes, and I have modified our app.jsx file. Here you can see this is how it looks like. I would request you to follow these steps and create a React app and code along with me. So first let's see how we can break down the component that we are going to build. Here you can see in the top part that if we think over it, the full page is a container, right? And these are the items, right? These are the items. And this is a pagination component, right? So what we can do, we can create a container file, right? So in our case, app.js could be a container file, right? Or we could say the parent file, right? And we can create a component to show these item boxes, right? We can create item box cart or item cart, whatever we could say, right? And finally, we will have a pagination component. Before start coding, whoever watching this tutorial, don't directly jump into the coding. Before writing code, you can tell whatever you are thinking, right? I would request you to, all of you, whoever watching this tutorial, before writing code, express what you are thinking to the interviewer. So we know there could be 2 components for our case, right? We are actually considering app.jsx. So okay, if I just close this one, and if we go there, we could consider app.jsx could be our the parent component, right? And we need another 2 component, one for like the item box, right? Item cart, whatever we could say, item cart, and another one is for the pagination component, right? Before designing the page, I want to tell you the API that we will use today for today's build. Today we will use the dummyjson.com/recipes. So first of all, whenever you hit that endpoint, you will get a 50 items. If I go to the bottom of the page, you can see okay, total is 50, right? Total is 50, limit is 30. By default, limit is 30 and total item is 50. Now if we want to show only 2 items, right? So what you need to do, you need to add a query params limit is equal to 2. Now if you hit enter, so you should be able to see only 2 items, only 2 items. So you can see id1 and id2, right? So and there is a one more thing that we need called the skip, right? So if you add a skip, skip is equal to, let's just say 2. So what it will do, it will skip 2 items and it will return the response from the 3, right? Because we are saying like skip first 2 items, right? So if we hit enter, we should be able to see id is equal to 3 and 4, 2 items, because limit is 2. Now if I increase the limit is equal to 5, so I should be able to get the 5 items, right? 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, right? This is the API that we are going to use here. So in the app.jsx, my first target is to actually fetch the data, right? Fetch the data to we could set a limit as a 5. You can ask this question to the interviewer, like what should be the limit, right? So for our case, we are considering maybe let's just say interviewer given you to the 5 item that you could actually fetch at once, right? So first our target is to actually fetch the data. We will use a single responsibility pattern here. I will teach you a lot about how you can actually use the single responsibility principle in React component, how you can create your custom hook, right? And a lot of things that you are going to learn today. Just I need your support, that's it. So in React component, to fetch the data, what we need to do, whenever our React component will be mount, in that time we will actually fetch the data, right? So for that we need to use the use effect. So let's write use effect. Okay, so as I said, our actually API should be endpoint should be this one, dot then, so we'll get response. We need to make it as JSON. Now we'll get data. We can console log data, right? So let's see like this data is consoling or not. Okay, we got one object here. So we can see, right, the recipes, right? Data.recipes, there is a 5 items, right? So what we can do here, we can create a state. Again, I'm saying we'll extract all the fetching logic to custom hooks. So this is actually for the first time we are doing, because we need to actually structurize this item box for that reason. So later part of this video will extract all the data fetching logic to a custom hook. So const recipes is equal to, it would be an array. So what we will do, we'll set recipes should be data.recipes, right? And I need one more thing, I need a total item, right? So const total set total. So by for example, default should be 0. So we can do set total should be data.total. Okay, so I'm saying total means this part, this 50, right? I need to actually store these total items. Okay, so I believe that should be stored in this state, right? Now if I want to show json.stringify recipes, okay, I can see, right? I can see these 5 items actually here. Okay, cool. So okay, first part is done. Now what I want to create a custom hooks here, right? I want to create a custom hooks. Let's create a hooks directory, and we could name as a use recipes.js. We can give this name. So const use recipes is equal to a function, and we want to export default use recipes, and we want to return an object from this from here. And what I want to extract all the state and data fetching logic from here to here, right? And here I want to actually return this total, set total recipes. Okay, we don't need actually set total, to be honest. Set total would be sufficient. Recipes, and we need one more thing. So let's bring the state here. Okay, cool. We need two more things, right? We need pages, right? We need to track the current pages, right? So as I said, in a dummy.json, they are actually using the skip for the pages. So we could create a state for skip, set skip. So by default that should be 0. We don't want to skip any item for the first time, and there could be 1 for loading, right? So you want to actually track the loading state. Set loading, so by default should be false. So whenever actually it will start fetching, I want set loading should be true, and after here I want to make set loading to false. Okay, cool. And here limit, for the limit what we can do, we can use the variable here, right? We can make it 5 here. So my bad, we can make it a 5 here. So what we can do, we can make this string to a dynamic string, right? By using backtick. So limit should be the dynamic, and same goes for the skip, that both should be a dynamic. So we can actually make a string to a dynamic using the backtick, should be skip. Nice. So we need to return this loading from here. We need to return the skip, set skip, and don't forget to add a dependency here. So dependency is skip. So skip and limit. Okay, I'm good here. Now what I have to do, now I have to call these custom hooks in my parent component. So my custom hook was use recipes, right? Now what things actually use recipes returning, right? It is returning this information. So we can copy from here, we can paste it from here. Cool. So see, now this custom hook actually is taking care data fetching and storing the data to the state, right? This custom hook is responsible for doing this data fetching and storing data to the state, right? Now our parent component is simple. Our parent component will get this data from this custom hook, and this data, maybe we need to pass it to the props, or we need to actually display the content by using map, right? So now what we can do, we can create a component for this item card, right? We can create a component for that. So what for that, we can add a directory called components, and we can create a recipe card.jsx. So I'm using RAFCE for shortcut. Now if I want to map here recipes, right? Map recipe, and here I want to show the recipe card. Okay, I should also get an index from here. or I could actually, I could use the recipe.id here since it has a unique ID. So I can use recipe.id. Nice. So I should be able to see, actually I should be able to see 5 card. Nice. Okay, let's try to make this looks bit better. So here I can add a class my is 10, px is 10. Okay, what I can do, I can wrap it to the div and I can add a display should be flex, right? So I have added display flex, gap 10 and justify center, right? Let's see how it looks. Okay, yeah, looks good. Now it's time to actually design the recipe cut component, right? Recipe cut component. So which should be, we could add 250 px and px height should be, we can add height actually 400 px. And here I have added image tag here. So I'm expecting to get image from here. Oh, okay, what I can do here instead of okay, I didn't pass the recipe. Okay, so we have passed this recipe as a props to the recipe cut component, right? So here we should be able to get the name, image, rating and ingredients, right? So cool, let's see. So you can see, right, we are actually seeing the image here. So now let's create another div, right? So here name, I want to show the name and rating, right? So I want to show rating here in the parenthesis so that it looks bit different from the name, right? Okay, so name and rating should be bold, font bold. So we can add actually font bold, right? It's font bold. And in the below div we can add this actually, ingredients is an array, right? Here you can see our ingredient is showing as here. Now if you go there, if you can see here, it is actually showing some warning here. It is saying name is missing in props validation. So what we can do, we can add a props here, right? Prop types. So here I have added this prop types. So I need to bring the prop types, import prop types from prop types, right? So you should be able to see the warning is gone, right? So basically what I did, I actually defined that what types of props we are expecting in the recipe cut, right? So name should be string, image should be string, ingredient should be an array, and rating should be a string. So we made all the required, right? Since we are actually actively using this information in the recipe cut, for that reason we actually define the prop types. So far so good, right? So our actually this item component looks pretty well for now, right? It looks pretty well for now. Let's focus to make a pagination component, right? So for pagination component, let's close all of this. I want to create a component inside the component directory called pagination.jsx ref c. Okay, cool. Here one more thing, I want to use a React icon library here. In the final product, you can see here there's icons, right? The left icon, right icon. So I want to use a React icon. So it's simple. If you don't use previously, so what you have to do, you have to go here, React icons. You need to just install this package too in our actually page. So I have already installed this package. What you have to do, you have to just install this package, npm install React icons. That should be good enough. So this is the React icons package I have already installed. It's a 5.2.1. okay, cool. So we are ready to start working on the pagination component. Okay, so here let's add some style. should be flex item center, justify center, and py should be 10. So now if I write the pagination tag should be in a center. Sorry, here. Okay, I need to actually import that pagination component to the parent component, right? Let's add it. Yeah, you can see, right, the pagination is a center positions, right? Okay, let's add another div. Here I have added some styles like flex item center, gap x5, justify center. This is for the buttons, right? The buttons that we have here, this is for the buttons. So they are here is the gap is 5, right? Here you can see I have actually added two icons here. One is a FS circle arrow left, another one is a FS circle arrow right. Now you can see here, there you should see a two icons here, right, for the left and for the right. Now we need to actually, we need to handle the on click here, right? We need to handle the on click. This one should be handle previous, this one should be for handle next. Let's create a on click function here. This is for previous and this is for next. What I can do, I can use this one here, handle previous as on click, handle next. Cool. We'll add the functionality bit later. So here I need couple of informations. One is skip, set skip, and total, right? So let's take it from props. So from where we'll get this information, if you remember, we already actually return this information from the custom hook, right? So what we can do, we can simply pass it to the pagination component and the total, right? It's simple. So we'll use the loading bit later, but for now, so far so good. So we'll receive the skip, set skip, and total. So here I need to calculate the current pages and the total pages, right? So remember, total, the information that we are receiving from the endpoint is items, total items, but I need total pages, right? So, and also at the same time, I need to know the current pages, right? So the current pages should be, skip plus 1, because skip by default is a 0. If you remember, if we go to the use recipe hook, skip is by default 0, right? So 0 should not be a page, right? So by default will be on a page number 1. For that reason, like skip plus 1. Also the total pages. Total pages should be total divided by limit. So what we can do, we can receive limit from the props, but default we can actually add a 5, right? So total is 50, limit is 5. So we can expect t divided by 5. So total item is 50 divided by limit is 5. So we should get the total 10 pages, right? So what we could do, we could pass to the math.sale. Okay, we are good. Let's set the handle next and previous functionality here. So remember, if you can see in the final product, whenever we are on the first page, right? Whenever we are on the first page, our previous button is got disabled, right? When we go to the last page, I mean the 10 number page, you can see our next button is got disabled, right? We need to keep in mind when we add the functionality in the previous or next button, right? For the next button, if skip, right? Skip less than total pages minus 1, in that time we can increase set skip is equal to skip plus 1. It's simple, right? Whenever we are on the skip should be less than from total pages minus 1. In that time we could increase the skip plus 1, right? And we can set it to the set skip, right? This is for the handle next. For the handle previous, always skip should be greater than 0, right? Should be greater than 0. In that time we can set skip minus 1, right? So this is the two condition, right, that we have. Okay, now we click on the next button, right? See, data got changes, right? If we click on the next button, data got changes. If we click on the previous button, if you can see, data got changes, right? Okay, but we need to actually show this button as like the clickable, and if it is disable, we need to show bit disable styles, right? Okay, here you can see I have added styles here. Whenever we are on the current page is equal to 1, right? That means that should not be clickable, the handle previous button, right? So for in that case we have added color called text gray 300, right? Otherwise it should be text blue 500. So if we on the number, now we are on the current page is equal to 1, right? So you can see the previous button looks like disabled, right? That should not be clickable. Handle button is actually it looks the clickable one. Now if we click on that, if we reach the 10, like the last pages, right? If we reach on the last pages, you can see that actually that button, right, that handle next button got disabled, right? That's how I have added styles for the handle previous and next button, right? Now the most important part is to actually show the numbers in between the handle previous and the next button. How we can do that? So for that I will create a function here, const render page numbers. So we can call it here render page numbers. We can call this here, right? Okay. So here in the render page numbers component, I have initialized a empty page numbers array. We'll store all the page number inside the page numbers array. And I need a start page and end page, right? This start page ensure we show at most 3 pages before the current page, but never go below the page 1. Right? And the same goes for the page end page. This ensure we show at most 3 pages after the current page, but never exceed the total number of pages. Now I'm looping through start page to end page, and I'm pushing all the button inside a page numbers array. And from this render page numbers function, I need to return the page numbers array. And I have already called this render page number function here. Now if we see, we could see here, right? And it look like it overlapping with the text. What we can do in the recipe card, we can make it overflow hidden for now. So I should not be able to see here. Okay, I should not be able to see after 400px, right? So you can see, right? So it is showing all the since I am on the 10 number page, it is showing the previous 3 pages, right? Previous 3 pages. Now if I go to the like 8 number page, or if I go to the 7 number page, it is showing the previous 3 pages and the after 3 pages, right? Now if we go to the number or page number 1, right? So if we go to the page number 1 or 2, there is nothing like the 3 pages, right? Before 3 pages. So it ensure it will never go before 1 page. It will make sure that a start page, if you remember, we added this start page variable here, right? So it will never go before 1, and end page it will never go before the total pages, right? The total pages we have calculated here, right? So this is the thing. Okay, one more functionality interviewer might actually want to ask. So if we click on the number 4 number page, right, so we are not moving right now, right? So maybe interviewer asks this to implement. So how we can do that? It is simple. It is very simple. What we can do, we can actually add a on click here, handle we could say handle click for now, right? So definitely we'll get the I. We have to pass the I, and if we make a function const handle click, I will receive is page, we could say, and set skip equal to page, right? Now if we go and click on the number 4 number pages, you can see, right, we are actually moving to that pages. But one more thing, if you notice, like we skip always start from the 0, right? So what we have to do, we have to make it -1, right, to this get the exact number. So if we click on the 6, now we actually move it to the 6, right? Now if we click on the 5, it will move it to the 5. If we click on the 2, it will go to the 2, page number 2. And whenever we are on the page number 1, we should not be able to click on the handle previous button, right? If we go to the total pages, the last pages, right, the 10 number pages, we should not be able to click on the handle next. So what you can do, you can add a cursor not allowed right here. If we actually if we hover over the next button, right, you can do that. This task is for you. So I think, yeah, that we have completed that pagination component, right? So there could be some enhancement, right? Now if interviewer asks to how you can actually change the limit, right? For example, you can add a here you can add a drop down here. So if you click on the 10, so you can show the 10 items here. If you click on the 5, then 5 item you can show here, right? So you can make that limit as a dynamic by using the drop down one. So I think, yes, that's it. This is the pagination component. And again, I'm saying to you, whenever interviewer give you this pagination component, don't directly jump into the coding. First of all, just try to clarify some questions related to that pagination, right? So in the first part of the video, I have told you, right, some couple of examples, like I have told you a couple of examples question that you could ask, right? With that, I'm completing this tutorial. If you feel really helpful this content, I would request you to like this video, subscribing to my channel, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you guys.